I used to have a list in my head. Now, this list wasn't written down anywhere. I didn't need to write this list down. This list ran on a loop all day, every day, like background noise. I'd stopped noticing but couldn't escape. The list goes like this. A good mom makes homemade meals. A good mom has a clean house. A good mom never yells. A good mom plans birthday parties that looks like Pinterest. And a good mom handles every meltdown with supernatural patience. And a good mom never ever lets anyone see her struggle. I didn't write this list. This list was handed to me by the culture, by social media, by every well-meaning relative who ever said, enjoy every moment while I was drowning. I spent years trying to check every box. Nobody can, but the real problem wasn't that I was failing to be a good mom. The real problem was that I was so busy trying to be a good mom that I was missing the actual mom my kids needed me to be. Here is what I stopped doing and what happened when I did. The first thing that I stopped was the comparison game. This one nearly broke me. So I would scroll through Instagram and see moms with spotless homes and matching outfits and children who seem to smile on command. And I'd look at my own chaos and think I must be doing something wrong. But here is what I finally understood. I was comparing my behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Of course I was losing. Of course I was losing. That mom with the perfect kitchen, she probably shoved everything into a closet before filming. Yes, that mom with the angelic toddler, come on, she probably filmed 17 takes. That mom making it look easy, come on, she's probably crying in the bathroom after the camera turns off, just like me. So comparison is a thief of joy, sure, but comparison is also the thief of perspective. It tricks you into thinking everyone has it all figured out while you're the only one struggling. And that lie is exhausting. So I stopped. I muted accounts. I stopped doom scrolling. I stopped doom scrolling parenting content that made me feel less than. And I started asking a different question. Not, am I as good as her, but am I showing up as the mom my own kids need? It turns out my kids didn't need a Pinterest mom. No, my kids needed the real me, the real messy, imperfect me. So the second thing that I stopped is apologizing for my choices, such as breastfeeding versus formula, screen time versus no screen time, daycare versus staying at home, working mom versus staying at home mom. Every choice a mom makes comes with a jury. And I spent years apologizing, defending, explaining, oh, we do screen time, but only educational stuff. As if I owed someone an explanation for how I survived a Tuesday. Then one day, I caught myself pre-apologizing for a choice I hadn't even made yet. And I just stopped. You know whose opinion about your parenting actually matters? Your kids. And maybe your partner. That's the least. Your mother-in-law's cousins, brother's neighbor who thinks you should be making organic baby food from scratch, she doesn't get a vote. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped apologizing for the choices that were working for my own family. And the energy I got back from not carrying everyone else's judgment around, it was like taking off a heavy coat I'd forgotten I was wearing. Guys, I would love for you to let me know where you're watching from. Let me know in the comments. Now, the third thing that I stopped was performing for invisible judges. You know that look you get when you're at the grocery store and your kid has a meltdown over the wrong kind of crackers, and suddenly you're not just managing a tantrum, you're managing the facial expression of every stranger around you. In your mind, you think, what must they think of me? they would be thinking, what kind of mom can't control her own kids? It made me perform, I would change my tone, make my tone sweeter, more patient, more in control, because I was more worried about what the strangers thought than what my kid actually needed in that moment. And then here is what I learned. My kids can actually tell when I'm performing. They feel the shift. And do you know what the message it sends to them? It sends to them that I care more about how we look than how you feel. That message does more damage than the tantrum ever will. So I stopped performing. When my kids melt down in public, I focus on my kid, not the audience. Some people judge, some people smile in solidarity. Both of those are their business, not mine. And my kids, they are calmer when I'm real, because authenticity is contagious, even maybe especially in the grocery store. So the one thing that I started doing instead, I stopped doing all of this. I stopped the comparison, I stopped apologizing, I stopped the performance, and I replaced it with one thing. I started asking, what does the mom my kids actually need look like today? Some days that mom is fun. She does dance parties in the kitchen and says yes to the extra cookie and lets bedtime slide. Other days that mom is tired. She needs quiet. She's not as patient as she wants to be, and she apologizes when she messes up. And that apology, by the way, is worth more than 100 perfect days. Some days that mom needs help. She asks for it, and that models something my kids need to learn. That it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to say so. The mom my kids need isn't a checklist mom. She's a person. She's flawed. She's growing. She's trying, just like them. And when I stopped trying to be the good mom in my head and started being the real mom in front of my kids, something shifted. They relaxed. I relaxed. The house got messier, but our life got happier. So, if you've been carrying a list in your head, the invisible checklist of what a good mom does, I want you to try something. Set that list down. In fact, set that list on fire. Just for today, just for this afternoon, just for this week. Set it ablaze. Set it down and ask yourself, what does the mom my kids actually need look like right now? And I promise you this, she's already here. She's just been buried under the checklist, and she's so much better than the imaginary one. So if this hits home, please subscribe, drop a comment, and tell me what's one thing on your list you're ready to let go of. And if you want more honest conversations like this, please subscribe. I post every week about motherhood, marriage, and building a life that feels like yours, not a performance of it. I'll see you in the next video.